Yes, please. Tell me about yourself.
Yes. So my name is Shalini Singh,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm from Delhi,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm settled down in Bangalore from past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
About my technical experience, I have total 14 years of experience in IT. In
Mm-hmm.
microservices field, total 11 years of experience. I
Mm-hmm.
have worked in different domain. I started from telecom, then I moved to a banking domain. Then I have worked in healthcare, and in my last organization, I have worked in a banking domain. There, my role as a module lead, I was handling front-end and back-end application as a lead, and I was doing the design documentation for all the tasks that has come for any microservices. So there were like microservice design pattern has been used, microservice structure has been used for all the interconnection between the front end and back end layer. And there is Spring Boot Hibernate and Redis Cache has been used for that. So when I started, there were like almost 7 years I have worked. So at the time, it was Jenkins CI/CD pipeline that has been used for any deployment on production. Before 2 years, it started with Docker and on Docker, and then by pushing the images to the AWS Terraform, there was the deployment happening.
Okay. So you have worked on Swift,
Sorry.
Swift. You know, cross-border transactions related uh, applications you have worked on banking and finance. Swift. You know Swift.
It's you are saying about the transactions. Actually, you in between some noise is coming.
No, I will simplify it you. Have you worked on cross-border transactions related application? Cross-border means India to US, any country out
Yes.
of India. So,
Okay, so there were like all the banking product end to end. It was creating for US banks. So it involved like payment. It involves for the card, for the credit cards, and for the debit card transactions. And
mhm.
I myself, I was involved in like online credit card
Oh,
to reach the
okay, okay, got it. I think you have worked on retail banking, right?
yes, yes,
Hmm.
retail bank.
I was asking about the corporate banking, SWIFT transaction, just like as a RBI, suppose you have purchased some goods, so
Okay.
one country, so RBI will deal with the some amount USD or other different kind of currencies, so that one device, so that is going through the SWIFT. That's why I asked you.
That is a payment gateway you are talking about. Like we use it for here phone pay like that. So
No,
there
no,
was
no, 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 no. This is not. All these things are coming as a retail banking.
okay, okay,
This is not. Okay, no problem. So, how much you feel in core Java out of 10?
so it's like 8. I mean, I'm using from very beginning Java only.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only like practice. So latest I have worked on Java 8.
Mm-hmm.
So so like all the features have been implemented, but yes, when started with those implementation, that was 4 years back. So
Mm-hmm.
going through all the features, then implemented like lambda expressions,
Mm-hmm.
then functional interfaces, and wherever for loop was there, then replaced with the streamline wherever it was possible. And to avoid the null pointer exception, use the optional, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, few of the cases use
Okay,
predicate.
so have you worked on an agile methodology?
Yes, agile methodology.
Some kind of scripts like that, command, a Linux command. Suppose you have working on
Yes.
Linux operating system, so you basic.
Yes, because whenever any, because this is a product based company, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean I was involved in designing development as well, and whenever any issues are coming, wherever I have worked on any features, so I have to check from one end till last end. So what is the issue in production?
So you have worked on travel shooting part like that?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, okay.
To basically
So
check the
suppose
logs.
you have worked on microservices, okay? Have you worked
Yes.
on that? So microservices basically, I will tell you. Suppose you have 10 modules, okay? 10 modules.
Okay.
All are integrated through the CD/CID pipeline using the Eureka, and you have deployed in any cloud server, GPE, AWS, Microsoft cloud server. So suppose your one some your support team members are facing some issue in particular API. So how do you get the logs and analyze? Any kind of tools have you used?
So one is like for the tool there is a management AWS console that will show like
Mm.
which microservices and what API
Mm-hmm.
has been working, and for how many requests has been sent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like because from the development I know like there is a feature and that should connect the other microservice this API,
Mm-hmm.
and API will show like there is a error,
Mm-hmm.
not reachable error, it will show in that tool. Other one is there is a logs for that. So for logs purpose, because that service itself was not available, it will not show the error in for that microservice logs. So for before that, which microservice was hitting that microservice will show like this request has been sent to this request has been sent, and return the error not reachable, or it's like not found, normally like not found
Mm-hmm.
for an.
So okay, no problem. So you a little bit know about the Docker, Swarm, Docker, you know?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, okay, just now move in Java part.
Okay.
So you know the hash map, right?
Yes.
So you know about the internal implementation of hash map?
Yes.
Yeah.
So HashMap uses the buckets.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a size based on the load factor that I mean when I'm writing the code, if it is required,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like I can change also. But it's like if by default I'm using it, then as per the key value pair, so there is if different keys are there, it will save it in one bucket, and then it will for if same key I'm getting it, but there is like equals and hash code that will be overridden in any class. So
Mm-hmm.
based on that implementation or for which variable I'm doing it, it will save that in the other bucket.
So, for example, I will tell you you have a employee class. Okay.
Okay.
Employee class have a constructor inside have we passes on two variables like that age, name or something. You can use getter and setter anyway you can do that. So suppose that variables I am adding in hash map. Hmm.
Okay.
Suppose five object I have created E1, E2, E3, E4, E6. So
Okay.
E1 and E1, E2, E3, E4 added in key. Okay, and
Okay.
value you can put anything like that. You can take integer, string, whatever. I am focusing on only the key because of key does not allow the duplicate,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So in that scenario, suppose I have added value five object inside have values. Okay, so that value should be stored in key unique or duplicate. Suppose I am adding in all five objects, some object unique, some object is a duplicate. So
Okay.
it will allow duplicate or not allowed in key. If you
So there is a even object
hmm.
that will have the name.
Yeah, name just you can take as A, B, C and A, B, C. Whatever you can write. Duplicate element inside I want to add.
Hmm. Okay.
Otherwise, you can take in another way. Another way, suppose you can add in list. Okay, inside the list E1, E2, E3, E5. I have added. In all in E1, E2, E5 have duplicate element. Duplicate means I am putting A, and age 1, 2, 3. You can take different, not a problem. So that
Yes.
list I am adding in as a key.
Okay.
So
Okay. Got it.
that value should be print unique or it will print all duplicates.
No, for hash map it will print only unique one
Hmm.
where I have implemented the equals and hash based on the name. So if on the
No,
name
but
variable I
no, but you have implemented inside the hash map, right?
yes.
So hash map is taking have some preconditions. If you taking in string primitive data type, in that case hash map and equals method should be applied. But
Yes,
this
correct.
is the
Correct.
object. This is the object E1 E2. So this
Okay.
would be print duplicate or not? That is the my question.
Okay, got it. So, because the objects that have been created, it is like always the object that is not uh, passed like reference to each other. So, it
Hmm.
will show all the objects for the hash map.
Mm-hmm. So means
Bec-
duplicate will print, right?
Duplicate will print,
Yes.
yes.
If suppose I am implementing in E1 hash code and equals method in that scenario,
Then it will check like based on that for equality for those objects reference
no.
in the
Suppose
hash.
suppose you have duplicate element, okay, in
Yes.
E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. But E1, E2 is a part of employee class, right? Here have
Yes.
implemented just like has code and equals method whenever you
Yes.
writing the employee class, okay. So in that
Mhm.
scenario I am just asking that all these 5 duplicate element will be printed or it will print only the unique element. This is the my
No,
question.
it will print the duplicate because that is like for the user scenario also I have implemented for user data. So there is a possibility like name can be same for all the user. So I will if I'm adding in hash map based on the objects because all objects are newly created. So it's like reference is different. So that's why it will show all the objects. But normally it happens like when I'm doing that object, I shouldn't use that based on that duplicacy variable. I should use based on the unit.
No, 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 no. Because of if you implement after this interview, you can write the code, you will get the answer. Because of
Okay.
because of you already told me in beginning hash code, hash map have internal implementation of hashing and equals cases, right? But this is the
Yes.
object E1. But here, if I am implementing hash code in equals method, in that cases, if you adding in hash code in hash map, it will remove the duplicate because of
Okay.
this. It would be follow the hash map condition.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Because I'm adding the equals and that hash code based on the name.
If you add the hash code, you override hash code method. You can
Yes.
apply in all field, two fields, generate the
Yes.
hash value of all fields. So if
Yes.
you adding suppose a 5 times you have, so it will return the equal hash code,
Yes.
right? If
Right.
you adding E1, E2, E3, because of this one have different hash code, that's why hash map will allow duplicate. This is the scenario.
Okay.
But if you
Yeah.
implemented hash code, so that employee object will determine the condition of hashing and equals,
Yes. 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 I
right?
got it.
So in
Yes.
that
Yes. Got it.
scenario, it will not allow to do because of
Yes.
this functionality is as per the required of hashing technique. It is following.
Yes. Right.
So other tree set,
Other?
tree set.
Yes. Reset. Yes.
So
So there is a for the set
so
when I need to do.
can you tell me tree set internally how it will work? Because of first I will ask you tree set is uh, set or unsorted?
Okay.
Hmm.
So for sorted and unsorted, right?
When tree set is sorted set
Hmm.
or unsorted set?
Okay. So for the tree set, there is like it follows internally the binary. I mean algorithm. Basically, it is the derived from the set itself.
Mm-hmm.
But to allow to apply the algorithm for the sorting, it use the binary search. That I
Mm-hmm.
remember.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah, exactly.
I will ask you two more questions related to the two or three. So you know about the exception.
Yes.
So how many types of exception?
So we have checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions.
Mm.
And in checked exceptions, there is different types of exception.
Mm.
One is file not found exception and class not found exception, and then there is the one super class that is for the runtime exception.
Mm-hmm.
That mostly, I mean, I have used it to create the custom exceptions. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like invalid request exception, or there is any error that I have to handle it, like in case of any card related or any amount related. In the unchecked exception, that basically that cannot be checked at the compilation time, and it happens only at the after the deployment. Um, there is a memory. One is memory linked when memory is out of memory exception.
Mm-hmm.
Other one is there is a sequel. There is, I mean, DB connection. That is not DB connection.
Okay, no problem. I will ask other question to you. You know about the marker interface?
Marker interface.
Yes.
Yes.
So can you give the two name of marker interface?
One is callable.
Uh,
Mm, other one callable for callable. I have used it. Other one I forgot the name. All of a sudden,
say legible is a marker interface or not?
which one?
Serializable.
Serializable. Yes, serializable. Yes, because that only implements that interface, and I have to use their properties.
Properties. Okay. So suppose you are writing file handling or something. Uh, so in that cases you use the serializable, right?
Yes. So because over the network, the file when it is converting, it will be in the byte form. There would be the uh,
So what is okay? No problem. What is difference between serializable and externalizable interface?
serializable and instant. Um, I have used only serializable interface. Deserializable interface is normally used it internally to check when the file is coming.
Hmm.
If that coding is not added any extra value over the network.
Hmm.
So that is internally works. I have not.
So what is difference between transient and volatile?
Transient, if I am using that annotation, that is can be used on two parts. One is for the transactions, and there is one is for the property. So there is a property, if I am using it, that will go over the REST API for the any POJO model. Then it will not basically go over the network. It will not be the part of that model that can be changed.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So you know polymorphism.
yes.
So what is difference between overloading and overriding?
Overloading and overriding. Overloading is when I'm writing one type of program, one type of method
Hmm.
by giving the more than by giving the changing in the method parameters, or by giving the method return type. Then with the same name, it will be overloading of that method. And
Return type should be same or different.
should be it can be different. If it can be same also, it depends. Like if I am just giving method parameters same,
Hmm.
but the return time I am giving different. So
Hmm.
suppose there is a I have to return the amount for any
So means you want to say means we can write same return type and different return type, right?
yes, same return type when the method parameters are different.
Yeah, I know. But my question only have return type. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, earlier it was not.
Parameter is your different. Definitely, if that different, so in that scenario, you give the compilation error. So, my actual question is that means suppose we within class means we can write a overloading concept, but return type is not a constant, right?
Yes, but overloading when I'm writing it, that will be in the same class usually happen. So it's like overriding when
So
I'm.
next question. Public static void main method. Okay, so that method can be overload. Uh, Overload.
No, it
Why?
cannot.
Why?
Because main method is only one, that is basically our JVM search for execution of the program, and it cannot overload or override it.
But
Or
we can overload. You already given the definition of overloading.
that based on the return time.
Overloading concept means you can pass different parameters. Return type is a not constant, not a compulsory means it should be a void or return string. This is not a dependent. So we can overload.
No, no, no. We can't overload. I guess I
You
sorry that
you
was
you you after this interview you can write the overloading. Main method can be overload,
okay. Okay.
but cannot be override. But overload can be do.
Okay. Okay. I have not tried for
Because of your definition is telling overloading, method signature name should be same and parameter should be different and return type is a not constant. Okay,
okay.
so means public static void main, your actual method is a string array argument, right? You
Yes.
can write public static void main, you take
Okay.
int a, another you can write int b, another no int b not long b, double c, any type you can write multiple main method you can declare inside the class.
Okay.
You so you confuse like that cannot be overload, eh?
No, no, main I got confused because main I have not
No,
tried
it is,
like right.
this is overloading means overloading.
Yeah.
Overloading means if you are writing same, everything is same, it will compilation error. So,
Yes. Yes.
so definitely overloading, you will write a different argument inside
Yes.
the method parameters. Then it will
Right.
accept.
Yes.
So, what do you know in Spring? Can you tell me about the differences between Spring MVC and Spring Boot?
Okay. So Spring is a framework that provides a different set of tools or libraries like that can be used to build the MVC applications.
Mm-hmm.
So there is dependency injections aspects, and for other than that, there is for exceptions libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then Spring Boot is built on the top of Spring framework. It has all the Spring features. Only it provided like configurations that will be embedded and the security will be embedded. So the coding will be lesser. So instead of writing the all extra files, that will automatically will be given in a Spring Boot. So for
So, and Spring Boot.
Spring Boot only I have said like it will give the embedded security files and embedded configurations to create any web
So,
application.
which annotation will provide the embedded configuration? Can you give the name of annotation?
That is at the rate configuration. There is a now there is a one at the rate string configuration that will give all the in the any file that I am writing it that will make it configuration.
No, so this you telling about the Spring MVC.
No, no, there is a Spring Boot configuration.
Spring Boot, no. You know the about Spring Boot at the red Spring Boot application.
Yes, that is the main file where our
So
configurations
inside,
and
if you mark as at the red Spring Boot application, so it will automatically enable all three component of annotation like that configuration, uh,
Spring
component
configuration.
scan, enable auto configuration. This will
Yes,
automatically will do that.
yes, I forgot it. It will embed three inside it.
So, you know, how do you write REST API? Suppose you have requirement, you write the API for XML, generating the XML request and response. Request and response. So, how do you write? Just to give the signature.
Okay. So for XML, there is basically it should follow like what is the type. So I have to pass it the model. So for any API, I will start with the controller where the class file will treat as a controller,
Hmm.
and I have to pass. There is a request mapping annotation where based on like what request I have to create it get or post, so I can change it at the rate get request or at the rate post request mapping. Inside it, it will I have to mention it what is the content type. So for the content type, if it is XML or if it is JSON, that I will mention it. Then there is what the request parameter I have to pass it in the function. So that method I will mention it, and inside it, if it is at the request param, I have to give or any model that is basically we give it like a model name for that HTTP entity. So there is normally for XML cases, I have to define for the model name Pojo that it should bind it, and it can check for all the data types that is coming.
Suppose you have not a Pojo class, You
Okay.
normally you want to generate XML base, so what you do that?
I
Normally,
don't.
suppose you want to generate the request. Suppose you have passed in API method as a string variable, but I want to return response as a XML base.
Okay. XML response.
You know the media type or something.
Yes, yes, yes. So media type I have to mention it for that also.
Mm-hmm.
That what type of media. So there is also XML or application JSON. I have to mention
So
it.
that things I am expecting.
Yeah.
You can generate the different way. This is not I have a one mechanism.
Yeah. It's a
So you know the profile annotation.
profile annotation.
Yeah.
That is profile annotation. I have used it for security, where has been created for the roles wise.
No. Profile annotation used for the CID CD pipeline cases. If you put in property development, you make it three properties, dev, prod, staging. So it
Okay,
will deploy.
that is a properties profiling that link up with the environments like test
Yes,
environment,
yes.
dev environments. For that will segregate my configurations, like on what basis I have to give the URL.
So, but you telling some different things.
No, I was just there were like two
So
things.
only use of this annotation. If you mark as a profile annotation, so it will identify you want to deploy in which environment. So it will place in the particular environment.
Yes, yes, yes.
Read out the particular files, production, staging, and where you want to go. Right.
Yeah, yes,
So you know JPA.
yes.
So in JPA, why we are using JPA? You give the
JP.
one concrete answer.
Okay, so for that JP repository, so it's like for the transaction
No,
purpose, I'm
no, I'm
using
not,
it.
Salini. I'm not asking about this kind of question. I'm just asking because of repository and everything have, right? Because of
Oh, okay,
without this you cannot write the any kind of code. I am asking why we are using JPA. So purpose of JPA, because of without JPA you can write, you can use the JDBC template, you can use
o-
normal
okay,
JDBC. Anyway you can go. You can
okay.
use data source.
Yes. So JPA basically provides JPA is a repository that provides the API for all the transaction-based operation. So where I can use the direct the methods. So instead of writing all the these data source or database connection.
Okay. So you know about the database query procedures you have written or not?
Database only in Spring Boot it is only I have to give in one file for the data source by the data source name
No,
and
yeah, yeah, I got it. Means what I'm asking, you comfortable in database side? So I can ask the question, database,
okay, that SQL query.
SQL query, procedure and
Yes, yes,
function.
yes.
So this kind of things I can ask you.
Yes.
So which scenario we write the procedure?
Uh, mm, procedure like it's a set of statements. So where I have to do um, multiple type of tasks in SQL. Like I need to fetch two tables data, then I have to combine it, and then I have to save it in the third table. So in those type of scenarios, I will write the
Suppose
procedures.
sometimes team is telling you write the function. So why we are using function? What is the objective of function?
Uh, Function is basically if I need to return the data. So
Mm-hmm.
there is there is a two tables, and I have to check for those table combination data which one is greater, and how many names are there that is on this address. So for those type of queries, I will write the functions. Procedure based on the input, it will do the task.
So it means uh, I think you have knowledge, but you not going in more inside the functionality. Because of function, why we are using? We are avoiding writing the multiple join query and other things. So
Yes.
set up this query we can write inside the function. Just you call in the code, only the function you will get the concrete outcome function, and you want to perform the multiple operations. So in that cases query is not adjustable in the Java side because of you write lot of code, so that you can avoid this because of query is not pre-compiled statement, but procedure and function are pre-compiled statement. Once you call, you get the outcome. So these things are uh, achieved through the in these two process. This is the simple thing. Means you can optimize the performance and everything, right?
Yeah.
So that's why
Yes.
we are using. If you have 10 line 10 line, for example 10 line join query, you want to configure inside the code. So code will take little bit time. First it will compile, then will execute, then you will get the outcome. But procedure and function, once you call, it will pre-compiled, you prompt give the result. So you
Yes.
can reduce the one step, compilation
Okay.
step, right?
Violation stick, yes. And try catch block also. In procedure, because multiple statements are writing, so in the input I can face any exceptions. So in procedure I have to handle with the try catch. But in function
Yeah,
only.
inside the procedure you can handle, because the
Yeah.
best way of writing the code, what way can achieve the better performance if we
Yeah.
can achieve through the Java side, so you can write in Java side. If we need to be write in backend side, so you can write in backend side. This is the scenario. So okay, so I want to ask the last question regarding to
Okay.
programming. Uh,
Okay.